Hey everyone, it's Caleb with Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with where to find a Goodwill outlet near you. So obviously the best way to do this is just with Google Maps. Like, obviously, I know this is something that's just so obvious it might not come to you right away, but yeah, it's just pretty simple. Google Maps is easy to use, all that fun stuff. So I just typed in Goodwill Outlet, Texas, because I don't live in Texas, so I thought I'd just find a random state to do this for. So here it is. Here's all the different locations. It looks like there's quite a few, and I'm just going to click on the very first one's option. I hit Control and clicked, so I just open it up in another thing. So the reason why I do it like that and want to check it out before I drive there, I'm not going to drive there, but say I was and I was going to check it out, was I want to find photos of it. I want to confirm that it is in fact Goodwill Outlet with the bins, because what you want as a book reseller is you want to find the bins, because the bins, which are these big blue bins, are what you are going to be pulling your books out of. And I'm just scrolling through really quick, and it looks like this is indeed Goodwill Outlet with the bins, and this is of course in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's where you'll want to go. And you can see right next door, which is pretty interesting, I've never seen this, but right next door is just a Goodwill Outlet online sales thing, which is cool. A lot of other Goodwill stuff, pretty cool. But something I must say is that Goodwill outlets are not the same as a normal Goodwill Outlet store. Goodwill Outlet stores are the ones that you just walk into and you have all the shelving units and it's all fine and dandy, it's all nice and organized. Goodwill Outlet, in general, just the bins, Goodwill Outlets, those are sometimes organized. It depends on who's in charge of them. I've been to some that are pretty organized and then others that are absolute messes and you feel a little scared to be in there. Feel like you shouldn't be in there. But when you go to the normal stores, all the books that you find are usually a lot newer of books. I'm talking books that are from the 70s and onwards. So 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now 2020s. You'll find the newer books, and that's because those are the books that those stores sell. They don't normally sell the antique books because they don't really know how to price them. They just pass them on to other people or they throw them away. It's really sad to think that they just throw them away, but that's just sort of what happens at Goodwills. It's pretty cool to go to the bins because you can just find tens of thousands of books sometimes, and it's absolutely amazing. And depending on which place you go to, the pricing is all over the board. So I'm just going to poke around a little bit, see if I can find a little more information on this particular Goodwill Outlet to see if they say prices. Just scrolling through. I don't see anything, and I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but for me, my Goodwill Outlet is $2.29 for each hardcover book that you buy. It's like 20 cents for children's books, and it's $1 something for paperbacks. So it's all pretty affordable prices, and I think that's absolutely amazing. So let's just do Texas Goodwill Outlets again. Scrolling out. Let's hit that again. All right. Oh, would you look at that? And since I didn't say Texas, it has all the other Goodwill Outlet locations all around here. So let's just click this one in Oklahoma just to be fun. And as you can see, yeah, all of these are indeed the bins, which is pretty stinking dope. This one doesn't look like it's a Goodwill Outlet bins, but yeah, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for those big blue bins, and the blue bins, if you go to the right one, you'll find loads and loads of books. So mine, where I live in Portland, they have, I believe it's 8 bins lined up next to each other, all full of books, like this thick of books. And again, as I've said in another video, that's like 4 feet by 8 feet per bin. So that's a boatload of space that's just covered in books, and it's absolutely amazing for us booksellers because we can just go through all of them really quick. And if you do it long enough, you get those eagle eyes, and you can like spot out the antique books like without even trying. Like for me, I just walk in sometimes. Don't even have to look very far. I just grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books really quick, go through them really quick. See that I usually want to keep all 5 of them. I've gotten pretty good at actually grabbing the ones I really want. And then if I have time to spare, if I don't have anything better to do that day, I'll stay there a little bit and I'll keep poking around. I'll see if I can put together a couple sets of books. Goodwill Outlet, I have found some amazing sets of books. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time there to get the full set, But if you only get a partial set, you can always buy the other books to that set on eBay or elsewhere, which is something that you might want to do because a full set of books sometimes sells for a whole lot more than what a partial set does. So that's just a cool little pro tip for you guys right there. Long story short, though, it's really easy to just look for a Goodwill Outlet. It's easy to look for the bins. I'm just going to do the Goodwill Outlet search again while looking at the full country. Oh, maybe it won't let me do the whole country. But yeah, around me where I live in Portland, we have one on Airport Way. Actually, I'll just type it in. Can't type anymore. Goodwill. Typed will twice. As I said, can't type anymore. So as you can see, we have a lot of Goodwills around where I live, but these aren't all Goodwill outlets. So where we have our Goodwill outlets where I live is there's one on Airport Way, which I think is this one. And we have one in, I think it's this one here in Vancouver. I'm going to say it's this one just to be easy. And then we have one like down here. Somewhere. Oh, in Milwaukee. Yeah. So we have just 3 locations. So for me, the one down in Milwaukee doesn't have any books, which I thought was absolutely crazy. They told me when I asked that they shipped them all up to the Goodwill Outlet one on Airport Way, which is one of our streets we have. And the Vancouver one, interestingly enough, doesn't have a lot of books, but the books that it has is pretty good. Like, I was surprised for how few they had, how many of them were good. So for me, I go to both. I normally just go to the one on Airport Way, which is actually closer to me because I live over in Gresham, which is not even labeled because they don't care about Gresham on this map, I guess. But that one's pretty close to me, and it's where I've made most of my money, believe it or not. Well, at least for a location I've gone to. The best book I got there was The Time Machine from the 1890s, 1895 I think it was, and it's a pretty good book. It was an amazing find for me because I like science fiction, so it was one of the first ones I read, so I was really stoked to get it. And I could have sold it for $13,000, and I paid $2.29. So that's sort of what you're looking at potentially getting at Goodwill Outlet. It's definitely worth digging through. It's worth going through the mess of all those bins, even if they don't separate out the books, because generally they will separate out books or clothing or random things. They separate out stuff pretty well. But even if they don't, it's worth digging because you can find gems like that you can get potentially $13,000 for. I sold mine for $1,600 because I was like, it's still good for me, and I have other reasons for that. But yeah, I really hope this whole video helps you guys out. I hope you understand that it's easy to find Goodwill outlets. Just to show how easy it is, I'm just going to hop on over to, let's say, Minneapolis. Gonna click there so Google knows I'm looking here. Gonna hit Goodwill Outlet there. And there you go, it just populates with all the different options again. And as I said in the first place, you have to be sure that it's actually the bins. You want to look for the blue bins. You don't want to find just normal shelving units because the normal shelving units don't normally have the antique books. That's not to say they never do, but there's a good chance they don't. There's a good chance they pass them on to other places. So hope that helps you guys. I'm going to do a whole series on places where you can find the books. The next one's going to be on estate sales and that sort of stuff, where you can find estate sales. So stay tuned. Click the next video. It should be in one of these corners somewhere. And I hope you guys like it, and see you in the next video.